Hello guys, welcome to our channel Edu Knowledge Hub. Myself Dharmesh Patnaik, Assistant Professor in the Department of Pharmaceutics of Bengal School of Technology. Today's my topic is a continuous of my previous video, that is Good Laboratory Practice Part 2. So as already I have discussed in the last video, so first of all we will see in the quick view about that what we have discussed till now. So in the last class we discussed about this definition of GLP, history, about its objectives, and we have started about the principle of GLP. So in the principle of GLP we have discussed about the test facility, organization and personnel. So today we will discuss about the quality assurance program. So the quality assurance program, so what is this need of this quality assurance program? So as you know that quality assurance means it is a department, it is a department which give the assurance about the quality, what we have performed and what we are going to do it, about the approval of this method. So here what this thing, for this purpose the quality assurance program is to assure the laboratory testing what we have performed as per the CGLP, that is current good laboratory practice. So it is carried out by the quality assurance department, which has the authority to authorize the quality related documentation. So he will maintain each and every documentation properly, that what you are going to do it, what are the verification you have done, in future it will be authenticate for us about the maintenance of the document. So here what it is telling, the quality assurance personnel to whom we are going to appoint it, he should have some sufficient knowledge, he should be familiar with these methods, he should be familiar with the test and about this laboratory testing, by which he can easily evaluate the process. Next what is telling, this QA department is a witness for the whole non-clinical research process, what you are going to do it, or what you are doing it. So next, the quality assurance program work process, how they are going to do it or what kind of process they are going to follow it. So first of all, the quality assurance personnel. So as already I told you that you have to recruit a knowledgeable person, then followed by it will move to second step, that is study plan contains the information verification, like the verification of study plan, how we are going to do it, protocol, about the process, about the methods, each and everything it will be mentioned there. Next, third one is about the conduct of inspection. So conduct of inspection, what is telling, there are three variety of inspections are there, that is first one is study based inspection, second one is facilities based inspection, and the last one is process based inspection. So study based inspection means it is indicating that about the related to your test, what we are going to do it. Facilities, like what kind of facilities we have provided, and about the process means what are the methods we are going to follow it. So after each and every inspection, then you have to maintain a record, or you have to prepare a report for this, and this report you have to retain it, you have to preserve it for the further reference. Next, coming to this third part, that of the quality assurance, that is responsibility of quality assurance personnel. So the responsibility of the quality assurance personnel, that is the main first one is the maintenance of document, maintenance of approved study plan or SOP by the management, by the director, and up to date copy of master schedule. Next one is verification of study plan, which will confirm that the compliance with the principle of good laboratory practice. So each and everything should be verified documentation wise, and you have to maintain all these things in documentation. So this is the responsibility of this quality assurance personnel. So here what it is telling, this quality assurance personnel must be an independent from the scientists, those who are involved in this research work or in the test. It should be independent, not should be dependent. Next one is about the facilities. So facilities means what is telling, when you are going to check or you are going to inspect the laboratory, whether he is going to following the GLP or not, the facility is more important. So what kind of facilities is provided by the laboratory to perform the test? So facilities means what is telling, there are sufficient numbers of room, or that means the separate room should be provided, like isolation for the test system, isolation for the individual project, isolation room for the organisms to avoid the biohazards. Each and everything should be separated to avoid the incompatibility. So next one what is telling, that it should provide a separate storage area and it should provide a separate supplies area for the equipment for the chemicals, as well as it should provide some separate area for the diagnosis, treatment and control of the disease in order to ensure the quality about the GLP. Next, coming to this, along with these facilities, second one is that archive facilities like storage facilities. What kind of the test what we are going to form it, the documentation what we are going to prepare it, you have to store it for the further reference. So for that, what is telling that archive facility should be provided. We should be protect our document from the any kind of deteriorations, and you have to preserve each and every document like study plan, raw material, any final report, samples, each and everything you have to preserve it there. Next, the third one is the waste disposal system. Waste disposal system means what is telling the chemical or the solution, whatever you are going to use it, or the animals, whatever you are going to use it in the study or in the test, you have to dispose it. So there are some methods you have to follow for the disposal. Why? Because the disposal system should be maintained in such a way that it should not harm or it should not lose the integrity of the study, or else it should not impact any kind of to the environment. So further, what is telling the disposal system should be maintained separately for the separate kind of chemicals, animals, each and every things, and also the decontamination process, about the transportation process, each and everything you have to maintain properly. Next, coming to this apparatus and material reagent, like as we know that for performing a test or any kind of experiment, we need apparatus, we need materials, and we may need the reagents. So first of all, apparatus or the equipment. So here what it is telling, the GLP is indicating that the apparatus or the equipment, whatever you are going to use it for the generation of data, for the storage of the data, or for the controlling of the environmental factor, it should be validated computerizedly. That means to get the assurance that the equipment or the apparatus, whatever you are going to use it, it will give the genuine data to us. Next, the maintenance or the apparatus or the equipment which you are going to use it for the study, it should be periodically inspect. You have to clean it, you have to maintain it, you have to calibrate it according to the standard operating procedure, that is called as the maintenance of equipment or apparatus. So these things you have to maintain properly according to the standard operating procedures approved by the management or by the director. Next, the apparatus or the equipment, whatever you are going to use it for the study, it should not give any kind of impact on the test system. Next one is that the last one is about the maintenance of the record. A separate equipment record should be maintained which will contain the name, model, serial number, date of receipt by the laboratory and the manufacturing operating instruction, which will give a clear picture about the equipment, about the apparatus for a personnel who is working to get the knowledge about this equipment or apparatus. Next, second one is material and reagent. Without material or without reagent, the study you cannot perform it. So for that, what is telling, it is more important to maintain the integrity and identity of the equipment, chemical and reagent or the solution. So for this, what it is telling, the level of this chemical, reagent or solution should be protected properly to maintain its identity or to identify properly along with the concentration. The appropriate concentration should be mentioned on the labeling. Next, second one is that the important one is the expiry date. The expiry date of the chemicals should be maintained properly or accordingly, and it should be verified regular basis. Next, the storage condition, the storage instruction. Each and every chemical having one separate storage, maybe one chemical having the storage at the room temperature, maybe it is one in the refrigerator or in the freezer. So the storage condition or the instruction should be followed properly. Next, the information you have to be preserved, like source of this chemical, preparation date, stability, each and everything information should be preserved for the chemical and reagent. Next, in some cases, after the expiry date also, sometimes we used to extend the expiry date on the basis of the documentation like evaluation and analysis. So like suppose example, what is telling, one chemical expiry date is over, but After the expiry date, what we will do, we will go for some kind of evaluation study, or we will go for some kind of analysis study. And from this analysis study, we came to know that the integrity or the quality of the chemical is still maintaining, so the expiry date can be extended. So for this, the documentation or the for the evaluation or the analysis, you have to maintain properly. Next one is the date of opening should be mentioned on the label on which date we have opened the seal. Why? Because so many different type of chemicals are there where the instruction it will be there. Once the seal will break, it should be used within 15 days, 30 days, or within 180 days. Some special instruction will be available. That instruction you have to follow it. Next, purchasing and testing should be handled by the quality assurance department or the quality assurance personnel with proper documentation and proper evaluation. Next, when you are going to using of this chemical, you will see there are some kind of posters, it will be available in our lab, that is called as the instruction for the chemicals, like about the instruction like safety or for the chemicals, like to know about the chemicals, to know the storage about the chemicals, to know the protection about the chemicals, to know about the storage, like the chemical should be stored in its own original container, not in any other container. Next, the last one is disposal of chemicals, because many chemicals are there which will be impact on the environment. So that's why the disposal of the chemical also more important. Next, test item. So test item, before going in detail about the test item, like what is test item, so first of all, once again we will see the sequence of this study. So first of all, what you used to do, the drug will be manufactured by an industry or by the MNC, then it will send to the for the quality assurance study or for the toxicological study, and for the toxicological study it will send to the biotesting laboratory. So when it will come to the biotesting laboratory, it will be characterization will be done, and this characterization data it will submit to US FDA or to the government or to the OECD for the further processing, like analysis of the report, all these things. So here what it is telling, the test item it is coming in the biotesting laboratory. So what it is indicating, when a formulation or a drug it is received for the test, so before going to start the study or the experimental work, they have to do or they have to know about the drug. So that is called as the test item, or that is the information related to active ingredient for a medicines. So the information related to composition, stability, chemical nature, about its solubility, next about the whether it is a new formulation or it is a modified to the previous formulation, about its identity, potency, and about its impurity profile. Next, test system. So after this test item, it will move to test system. So test system is indicating that when we are taking a drug product or a formulation and we are going to test on a animal or a plant or maybe a isolated organ, that is called as a test system. So here what is telling, that animal, the plant or the isolated organ or any other ecosystem, so or any kind of analytical equipment are there we can use, that is called as the test system. So test system means what it is telling, it is of two types, that is physical and chemical test system. Second one is biological test system. Physical and chemical test system is indicating that the appropriate design and adequate capacity of apparatus should be used for the generation of data. Proper study plans, proper protocols should be prepared, adequate capacity of the equipment apparatus should be used, by which it will not hamper to the data. Next, it will help to integrity of the physical and chemical test system. Next, followed by biological test system. That means biological test system, what is telling, the proper storage or proper condition you have to maintain, like storage, handling, and proper care, like isolation of newly received animal or plant system, and for the evaluation, each and everything you have to maintain properly, that is called as the test system. Next, coming to this performance study. Performance study means you are going to check that what we have done till now, whether it is correctly we have done or not. So that is called as the performance study. So while you are going to do the performance study, what are the things you have to be verify or you have to check it. So there is first one is study plan. We have to check the protocol properly, the method which we have followed, whether it is correct or not. content of the study plan, whether it is maintaining in the proper sequence or not, date, test method, issues if any related, records, a list of record to be retained, and conduct of the study. Each and everything in a sequence, and properly you have to maintain it. Then only you can evaluate our study or evaluate our experiment properly for the performance of the study. Next, while you are going to perform a study, that is more important is the rules, because without the rules we cannot do anything in a proper manner. So here what is telling, before going to do any kind of study, so the rules should be framed by the management or by the organization, and it should be approved, and it should indicate that we are going to follow the GLP. So for this what is telling, the rules should define that who will do the work, what work he will do, how he will do the work, when he will do the work, and where he will do the work. So all such kind of prescriptive documents should be maintained properly. So for this what is telling, this is called as the 4WH, what, how, when, and where. So for all these prescriptive document, what is telling, there are two variety of prescriptive documents are there. That is, first one is the protocol, second one is the standard operating procedures. So the protocol also it is known as study plan. The protocol is a high level of documentation which defines the study design, that what to do, when to do, how to do, and where to do. It will be explained each and everything. Standard operating procedure, it give the instruction that how to perform it, what is the routine for this, what is the sequence for this, and how we can impart the good quality over this by the following of this SOP. Now here what it is telling, protocol and study plan. So protocol and study plan is more important, is a vital document who will give us the proper idea about that, why the study is being performed, how the work will be organized, what data you have to be collected during the experiment. Next, who is the responsible for various aspects of study. So it will give a clear picture that who is dealing with what kind of responsibility, and why you are doing, how you are going to do it, what you are going to do it, and who is going to do it, by which it will be helpful for verification. Next one is the approval and review. So approved and review of the study plan should be done by the study director before going to start the work. Without that we cannot start the work. Next, what is telling, you should provide sufficient time, like allow the time for the protocol review by the quality assurance department. You have to give some time by which they can evaluate it. Next one is allow the time for the corrections, allow the time for the distribution of study staff, allow the time for the pre-study meeting. Next one is standard operating procedure. As already I told you that it will give the instruction that what sequence you have to do it, how to do it. It will give the complete outline. So here what is telling, the management or the director should prepare a established procedure to be followed by the personnel. That is called as the standard operating process, or sorry, standard operating procedure. So to maintain a proper standard operating procedure, a successive implementation, three things you have to follow it. First one is management support, like company culture. The management should give a proper support that once the SOP is prepared, it should be followed strictly without any modification or without any deviations or variations. Training related to SOP, you have to educate the personnel, those who are working, regarding the SOP, how to follow it. Next one is, the last one is SOP management, how we are going to maintain or manage the SOP. Next one is approve the SOP. The approved SOP should be ensure that the quality and integrity of the laboratory data. If the SOP is approved, then only you can assure ourselves, or you can give a assurance to the other person that yes, we have maintained a proper quality with the integrity of towards the study. Next, the SOP must be followed exactly, step by step you have to follow it, and without variation or variability. If by chance any kind of deviations or variations you have done, then it should be acknowledged by the director that these are the deviations you have done, and with the reason should be maintained. Next, after completion of all this study, then finally it will come to the reporting. You have to report it. You have to prepare a data, or you have to prepare a documentation. So this documentation, what is telling, the final report should contain about the name and address of the test facility, who is preparing this, performing this test, date of start and date of finish. We have to mention it. Name of the study director, you have to mention it. Objective of the study, detail of the test item and vehicles we have used, description of the test system, details of dosing, routes and duration, summary of findings, discussion, conclusion, references, GLP compliance statement for the study director, from the study director, quality assurance statement of inspection and audit, what we have carried out, everything should be maintained a proper document. And the last one, the final one, is signature with proper date should be mentioned, which will give the assurance about the report. So this about the report, you have to maintain it. This means this is the sequence, you have to maintain it. Next, coming to this, here what it is telling, the report, as already told you, that the report should contain the signature with valid date by the study director, followed by what it is telling, once the report has been signed, then it cannot be changed, we cannot modify it. If you want to do any kind of modification, then the modification should be done by amendment, and the amendment should indicate that why this change has been added with a proper reason, or with valid reason, with a due signature by the director. Next, this amendment should be signed by the director, as well as it should be audited by the quality assurance unit. That is more important. It should be verified that why it is done and what is the necessity. Next, storage and retention of our data or material. As already I told that to assurance about the quality, about the method, documentation is more important. And when you are coming to this documentation, you have to preserve the documentation. What are the documents? You have to preserve it, or you have to store it. So first one is the data related to study plan, raw data, samples of test and reference items. Each and everything you have to preserve it. Next one is records related to inspection carried out by the quality assurance program as well as the master schedule. When you have to do it, what are the things you have done inspection, and what is the report for this. Next, here what is telling, the record of this education, like what kind of training you have provided, what kind of experience, like what kind of job description you have done for the personnel, each and everything should be documented. Next, maintenance of the equipment, or maintenance and calibration of the apparatus and equipment, what we have performed, and when we have performed, each and everything you have to preserve it as a documentation. And finally, after preparation of all this documentation, you have to validate all this document for the computerized system. You have to verify it, you have to validate it. Yes, you have to verify the genuinity. Next, then it is about the archives, like preservation or storage. As already I told that the storage of data is more important, like as I told that storage of old material, like safe depository, which will protect our data from any kind of deteriorations, any kind of hazardous protection. So that's why this archive function, what is telling, it will preserve our data for long term, secure our storage and fast retrieval of data whenever it is necessary. And moreover, it contains all original scientific data. The report, what we used to prepare it and used to submit it based on the raw material or the original data. So this raw material and the original data, you have to store it, you have to document it. So further, if any time it is necessary. Next, this archive, it will provide us the security, like any unauthorized person cannot access this data, and it gives the protection against the fire, about the flood. So it gives a protection to our document. Next, this is about the criteria and the requirement for the GLP. So what will happen if a personnel or if a laboratory is not going to follow about this facilities, about this principle of GLP? Then it will move to disqualification of facility. So disqualification means if any laboratory or any test center is not going to follow the criteria or the principle of GLP, then here what is telling, so before going to take any kind of decision, So then first of all what they will do, they will ask for an explanation for the disqualification is needed. Like the FDA or this GLP, it will ask the explanation that why you have performed or what is the reason behind this about your documentation. Why? Because the FDA states that the purpose of disqualification is a exclusion the test facility for the completing laboratory studies, stating by new studies due to not following the standard compliance of this good laboratory. That means FDA is indicating that the laboratories should specify that why they have not performed according to the GLP or what is the reason behind this, because if they are unable to fulfill means further study will not be carried out in this laboratory. And most probably why they used to do such kind of deviations or variations, because they want to falsify the data, like malfunction, like they want the permission, they want the registration without doing any kind of testing or protocols about the ingredient, about its observation, about it data equipment by the malpractice. So that's why what is telling, there may be chances that for the disqualification of the facility. So disqualification means consequence of non-compliance. Suppose you are not giving any kind of non-compliance or you are not providing a satisfactory compliance. So then what will happen? A commissioner will send a written proposal for the disqualification for your testing facility. So after getting this written proposal, then a regulatory hearing will be there for the disqualification. And in this hearing, if the commissioner will find that you really or intentionally you have done such kind of things or activity, then a letter will be issued that is called as the termination of disqualification will be sent to the facility. And once finally it will be disqualified, the facility will not be no longer active and you will not get any kind of test for your new laboratory. Then followed by the commissioner will notify to the public and to all the interesting persons, including about the federal agency, like your this so and so laboratory is disqualified due to this reason, and followed by a civil or a criminal proceedings will be carried out for this on this laboratory. Next, after this disqualification, if a laboratory person again he want to go for this restoration of this disqualified facility, then what he is to do, again he is to call for this inspection or verification. The commissioner will inspect the facility and again he will determine. So based on this report or based on this interpretation or determination, if it will concluded that it will be restored again, then the commissioner will require to notify all the persons that yes, this so and so lab, it is now it is again restored for the from the disqualified facilities. So this about the process and about these facilities, it is necessary for this good laboratory practice or there is a principle of GLP if you want to follow it, and it is more important to give the genuinity in the clinical study, non-clinical study for the laboratory. So this is my source of data from where I have collected all this material, and I hope my PPT or my video, it will help you to gain some knowledge about this good laboratory practice. And if you want to gain the adequate knowledge, please go through this part 1 video as well as the followed by the part 2 video. And after that further, if you have any kind of doubt or if you have any kind of query, then you can subscribe to my channel, that is Edu Knowledge Hub, and you can write in the comment section about your doubts. Definitely I will reply you back. And if you want to directly contact to me, then you can go for this email ID, that is dharmajit.patnaik@gmail.com. You can write to me the mail and I will return you back through this mail. Thank you for watching my video. Bye bye.